Today, prosecutor Susan Hoffinger called for a sidebar about the ongoing presence of Donald Trump's Republican entourage in the courtroom. Here is how that played out. This is Hoffinger. I noticed that some of his guests are already here today with their security detail, but we would just ask that they not be allowed to file in the middle of Mr. Blanche's cross-examination. It's with their security detail for the jury and the witnesses to see. The court, yes, I would advise that that not happen. Todd Blanche. Your Honor, I have less than zero control over what is happening on anything or anyone that's behind me when I'm crossing a witness. I don't know what, I don't have any control over that. I mean, they are members of the public. To be clear, these lawmakers are not sitting in public seats. They're sitting in seats reserved for Donald Trump's defense team. Joining me now is California Congressman Adam Schiff, member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Schiff, thank you for being here. I imagine you have some thoughts about your fellow House colleagues who have been trekking up to New York City to stand outside of the courtroom and weigh in on this trial.
I have so many thoughts, and, let me start with the Speaker, because I have to say I was flabbergasted that he would go and make that pilgrimage, stand outside that courthouse, and basically lie about what was going on inside the building. It's bad enough that he lacks the self-respect that he feels he needs to go and kiss the ring in such a public and debasing way, but also for him to denigrate the justice system, for him to knowingly make the false claim that this trial was designed to keep Trump off the campaign trail. He knows better than that, but it shows, the most powerful, top-ranking Republican in the Congress, will do anything for Donald Trump. And for those others, the Matt Gaetzes, the Anna Paulina Lunas, I mean, these are crazy people, and you don't expect much more. But I will say this, too. The fact that some of them are going into the courtroom, this is a way to tamper with the jury. This is a way to essentially communicate to the jury that we believe this is political. We're here to show support for the president. That's making a statement without having to say a word. And that is distressing for much the same reason.
Congressman, because you singled out the Speaker, I do have to ask, you were one of 163, I think it's 163 Democrats who voted to effectively save Speaker Johnson from a motion to vacate. Do you have any regrets about that? And would you do it again if there was another call to oust him from his position?
I don't regret it because two reasons. One, we need a governing entity in the House. They have the majority. As long as they have the majority, we need somebody sitting in that Speaker's chair. I want to get things done for my constituents. We've got major challenges with housing, with the cost of child care and other things. I want to get things done. You can't do that without a Speaker in the chair. Second, I didn't believe it was right to essentially vacate him from the chair because he finally got around to approving Ukraine aid. So for both those reasons, I don't have any regrets. But I have to say, it's still difficult to stomach when you see him do what he did standing in front of that courthouse. And it just shows you that there is no one in that Republican conference anymore, not since Liz Cheney left, not since Adam Kinzinger left, that has any real thorough commitment to the Constitution, their oath, our system of justice. It's all about keeping power, gaining power, and no debasement too great before their supreme leader.
Yeah, well, it's worth noting that the cynical moves did not end at the New York City courthouse. A lot of those same members had to travel back to Washington to vote to hold the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, in contempt for refusing to hand over the tapes of the conversations that President Biden had with the special counsel, Robert Hur. The 1-2 punch.
Well, you're absolutely right.
The 1-2 punch of standing out there. Sitting, yeah. Tell me more about that endeavor.
Well, I was sitting in that Judiciary Committee as a member of the committee as they were bringing up this bogus effort to hold the Attorney General in contempt for not giving audio tapes of something they already had the transcript for. It's come to that pathetic a motion to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt for, so they can give tapes to his campaign team for campaign commercials. That is Donald Trump's campaign. But meanwhile, you had Republican members missing from the whole debate because they're in New York. You had, members like Matt Gaetz who missed the vote completely. Shows you where their priority is. They don't think it's important enough to stay in Washington to vote on holding the Attorney General in contempt if it has to compete with being a spectator in the hush money payment to a porn star trial of Donald Trump. And, you know, the thing that I find so shocking about all this is I have to imagine, and I made this point in committee, that if you asked Mike Johnson 10 or 15 years ago whether he could ever see himself standing in front of the courthouse, vouching for the character effectively of someone charged with paying hush money payments to a porn star, he would have never imagined himself doing such a crass thing. And yet there he is. And it's one small surrender of, you know, morality followed by another, slightly bigger surrender followed by another surrender. And pretty soon you're standing outside the courthouse vouching for the character of someone paying hush money to a porn star.
Yeah, speaking of surrender of ethics, I do want to get your reaction to the New York Times reporting tonight that Justice Samuel Alito was reportedly flying a Stop the Steal flag in front of his house in and around January 17th of 2021. You were on the House January 6th committee. You know this saga quite well. Do you have a thought on that, given the role the Supreme Court has played and is playing around January 6th and holding those accountable?
This is why Americans have no trust in the Supreme Court anymore. They see a justice with a flag, essentially a Stop the Steal flag, outside their home, presiding, sitting in cases affecting the investigation into that effort to incite the attack on the Capitol. You have Justice Thomas, whose wife was in text messages and email communications about this effort to overturn the election, sitting and voting against, as a member of the court, voting against providing documents to Congress that might implicate his spouse. Not just a perceived conflict, but a real conflict. And this is why people have no confidence in the court. And there at the moment is no recourse for this. They can violate the code of ethics because there is no enforceable code of ethics for the Supreme Court. But I think, as you were discussing earlier with respect to Alito, he's proud of his disdain for public opinion. He is, more than willing to wear his partisan colors on his sleeve, or in this case, on the flagpole.
Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you for joining me tonight. Really appreciate your time, sir.